architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you. You have many questions. Hey, you. Welcome back to the channel. And I hope you all are having a great weekend. So I want to talk to you all today about, as many of you all probably well know at this point, the U.S. Congress sent out a letter for the Libra project to cease operations until more information could be gathered in this moratorium, and that they feel that there are many threats that the Libra project poses. So, the thing that is kind of concerning about this, as I take a look at this, is that, it's kind of strange to me that the Congress, the United States Congress, was so threatened by this that they didn't even allow this project to get established first, take root, and then see what was necessary for it to meet compliance. Obviously they're so threatened by Libra coin that they don't even want any operations to be done. They're not even seemingly looking for a way for this to be regulated. They see this great potential threat. There are many projects that have established stable coins and haven't been met with the same threat, haven't been met with the concern of how altering this can be to the system as we know it. The cabal and partnership between the government and the banking cartels. So it kind of begs the question then, is Libra coin, is the Libra project, is this really the real threat? Is this really the real change that many of us in the cryptocurrency space have been looking towards and thinking it was Bitcoin, right? And so I know some people will go, well, no, this is nothing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is decentralized and it's something totally different. And you all may be 100% correct on that, right? I have some misgivings and concerns about certain aspects of Bitcoin. There are many problems when projects are completely anonymous, although it's understandable why one of this magnitude would need to be anonymous. But the problem is this anonymity is a two-edged sword, right? We opened up the video with a scene from the Matrix films where this character called the architect has basically implemented a false system of control so that human beings believe that they are constantly in control of their own destiny. And as the system understands that, we will continually rise up and revolt and rebel and try to change things and try to fight it. The best way to meet such a situation, they cleverly find, is to make people believe that they're in control. So they create the Matrix and they plant it, and they plant this prophecy that is a false prophecy. Now, scary and interesting enough, it kind of makes me think a little bit about Bitcoin, how Bitcoin just comes out of nowhere. It's not met with a lot of resistance. It's not met with resistance from governments or Congress or anybody like that. And it kind of has within it the prophecy that this is our control, right? Now Libra coin doesn't get that option, right? It's trying to get stopped dead in its tracks before it can even get the ball rolling, right? And so I think the idea that what the cryptocurrency space aims to achieve, entities that do a like thing, I think they would kind of see as partners and friends along that path. And the opposition that the cryptocurrency space has had towards the Libra coin project, although understandable, we can see that the United States government wants to put a stop to it. Now, let's just take a moment and let's consider a few things for people who just don't believe that Bitcoin could be compromised. And I'm not saying Bitcoin is compromised. I'm only saying we should allow ourselves to ask the question. Now, when I was a kid growing up, I was always that kid who always asked those questions, no matter how uncomfortable it was in the room. I wanted answers, and I would ask the hard questions, the tough questions. We should allow ourselves to do the same, right? And I don't think any harm comes from that. But the fact remains that anything in history, as far as we know it, that's challenged the monetary system, the global monetary system as it is, that's challenged the U.S. dollar, whether it be a regime or system or whatever the case may be, has been met strategically and quickly by the United States government and eradicated in one way or another. For the United States government to somehow lay down the cryptocurrency based on the idea that it can't control it, I'm highly the skeptic of this. There are many ways the U.S. government can control cryptocurrency. It can simply make it illegal, make the equipment illegal. It could start arresting people and locking people up. And believe you me, once people start going to jail in record numbers, that will put a lot of fear in people about using cryptocurrency. I'm simply saying we should allow ourselves to ask the question, and why is Facebook Libra coin such a threat, right? Why is it such a threat? And if we are going on the narrative and we're telling the U.S. government the narrative that Bitcoin is even a bigger threat, because that's basically what we're doing, the idea that the United States government would have no strategy to that is quite unbelievable to me. I don't buy it and I don't quite believe it. And if it hasn't got to that point yet with them, maybe they don't see the market as big, maybe because the use is too small, we can rest assured that what happens to Libra coin will happen to Facebook coin. And the United States government will not act as if they are powerless against it, even if they are limited to a great degree. They will do what they've always done, and that is find a way to control or manipulate the system some type of way. And as we can see with Bitcoin, that's not very hard to do right now. You can easily control. Bitcoin's been as low as thousands of dollars, $3,000 just a few months back. Very easy to gain control over Bitcoin. So we're just allowing ourselves to ask the question, why is Facebook so dangerous to the U.S. government? And I think we know the answers why. I think we know that this is creating a real power vacuum that can challenge the banking systems, eradicate them, and their connections and relationships to the United States government that I'm sure they'd like to keep in this type of corporatism that they administer together. So what is the workaround to this? So here's my idea about it. The cryptocurrency space should be learning from Libra coin, not condemning it, because it's on the right track. We're the ones who are telling behind in this manner. And we're the one that's not being seen as a threat when our whole idea is about be your own bank and control of your own, having your own freedom to control your own finances and your own banking and your own money, right? But it doesn't seem that they're coming after us yet. And so that means that we are not a threat, right? And so that means that perhaps our advancement isn't as great as maybe we think it is. And my answer is it isn't. My answer is the demand for cryptocurrency space is that there's still very little demand, that we haven't made the compelling case yet as to why people want to use it. And at this point in time, I kind of see us more like a group or a gang that kind of operates on the fringes of the systems as they were. Let me suggest to you all a better way forward. Sometimes when something works, the idea is not to go away from what works, but to embrace what works and make it work for you. So the Facebook Libra Coin project obviously has or is a threat to doing many of the things that in the cryptocurrency space we sought out to do. Why don't we use those strengths that have worked with such projects for ourselves? And what is the best way to do that? Through social networks, but done properly, using a similar model to what the Facebook Calibra project is aiming to achieve, but with our own spin to it. And that's what the Bitcoin NYK project delves into and entails. It uses social media that we control, but through decentralized governance, allows us to control the network. Now, this is something a little bit different from Bitcoin. Although it integrates and works well with Bitcoin, it works as a Bitcoin sidechain as well. However, it has the aspects and features of a social network like Facebook. And the great news is through a decentralized governance using blockchain technology, every member of the community gets to control how that network runs, owns it, and the direction it goes into. Now, this is different from many other decentralized governance projects that where the masternode communities makes all the decisions, or we upvote witnesses, or we upvote block producers, or we upvote the miners in some capacity to control the network. This is a truly democratized system where everybody's vote counts. And the will of the people actually control the network, despite the value, the ownership of the network, the amount of cryptocurrency we buy. So it is democracy in the truest sense. And we believe this is the way forward. We don't believe the way forward is to disregard things that work. Obviously, the Libra Coin project is working so well that not only could it become the greatest and biggest currency in the world, or cryptocurrency, however you want to look at it, it would be the most efficient model monetarily probably in the world, right? So this is something serious to consider, guys. If you're a serious cryptocurrency project person, I think you have to really take a step back and look at what it is exactly you're trying to achieve, right? If you're trying to achieve mass adoption and you're trying to do it through decentralization, you're not going to get that unless every aspect of your network is decentralized. You can't have people who are able to influence or control the network due to how much money they can spend or buy. Then you got nothing less than a plutocracy, right? You can't have minoritized group controlling it because now you got less of a democracy, right? You got an oligarchy then, right? It's only when the power really goes back to the masses of people in cryptocurrency through a true decentralized governance manner that we can really have that. Other than that, we're going to always have some system of control. Even now with Bitcoin, we don't know really who controls the majority of the Bitcoin. We don't know who these wells are. They could all be the same well, broken up into splinter groups. How would we know that, right? And their will and their control, and over time, the development teams they have working on Bitcoin itself could all be controlled by them, as well as the mining. So I think we just have to really take a look at what it is we're trying to achieve and allow yourselves to ask the question. There's no harm in asking the question. Is it possible we're part of a system of control, only believing that we are part of that control? Start to look into and embrace projects like BitcoinNYK.com. You don't have to purchase the cryptocurrency. If you're a Bitcoin holder, you get the cryptocurrency free. You also get it free from the proof of participation model based on the people who didn't claim their Bitcoin holdings, right? However, because of this true idea of decentralized governance, where the people really control the direction of the network, not based on if they can buy their way in, buy the network, or not based on if they can control all of the servers or have the technical aptitude to be in control in that way. But true democracy, true community-driven democracy to get things done. That's what projects like Bitcoin NYK is presenting, but using many aspects of what works in cryptocurrency. And what works right now, as far as I can see, is projects like Libra coin that are so threatening that the U.S. government has to step in and try to stop them before they can even get started or get compliant or even take the steps to compliance. That's something that we all need to think about going forward in the cryptocurrency space. If we're serious about where we end up in this, or is it just another system of control, just another shell game to keep us occupied so that we don't become a real threat to anybody? That's all I want to say in this video. If you all like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.